I have never liked the term living fossil, since usually people talk about extinct Pokemon when they talk about fossils. But Relicanth may be the one Pokemon to deserve that title. It was long thought to have died out, but was later discovered deep in the oceans of Hoenn. Some scientists jokingly called it the perfect life form, but this might not actually be that far from the truth. Molecular clock studies and comparisons to ancient fossils of this Pokemon suggest it hasn't changed, at least in any significant way, for over 100 million years, which is astounding considering it lived through at least one mass extinction, if not more. Its secret is likely the environment it calls home. The deep ocean is a remarkably stable environment, at least on geologic timescales. Save for shifts in plate tectonics and large-scale changes in ocean oxygen, it is unaffected by most global events that could lead to instability in an ecosystem. But in exchange, it is also hostile to life, with the pressure being immense, food being scarce, and no light reaching that deep. But Relicanth is perfectly adapted to this environment. While it is capable of impressive bursts of speed thanks to its swift swim ability, it actually doesn't move about via swimming normally. Instead, it crawls along the ocean floor using modified pectoral fins, which in many ways actually more so resemble limbs than fins, as they are highly articulated and possess a surprisingly wide range of motion. This saves a lot of energy, a necessity in an environment as nutrient-poor as the deep ocean. Most of the food available down there comes in the form of marine snow, a kind of precipitation of white, flaky, organic stuff, such as droppings, dead plankton, or pieces of shells from Pokemon like Clauncher. It isn't the tastiest food, but it is food nonetheless. And with Relicanth being a toothless filter feeder, passively sifting through the water for nutrients instead of actively hunting, it can make great use of this admittedly gross resource. Another adaptation worth mentioning is Relicanth's incredibly tough skin and the high content of fat and oil in its body. These adaptations both help it withstand the immense pressure of the deep sea, but also allow it to venture into different areas of the ocean, or even rivers that are more shallow and thus more filled with predators. It can shrug off many attacks, but predators tend not to even hunt it as the fat and oil make it taste awful. Something else to help with this may be the red dot found on the side of its body. The leading theory is that it's simply a fake eye to confuse predators about the true location of its head. But being a deep ocean habitant where there is no light, this would be useless most of the time. There are myths that its body is actually a treasure map, but the markings don't match up with any location we know of, and it's most likely just a story told by the seafarers of old. If all this made you interested in owning and training a Relicanth, I must warn you, they live life by their own speed. Obviously, they generally enjoy battling as a form of enrichment when under the care of a trainer, just like all Pokemon, but outside of that they are slow and calm and not much for an active lifestyle, so don't expect them to enjoy the adventuring life. There is much else we don't yet know about this ancient Pokemon, but with their numbers being small and living so remotely, it is exceedingly difficult to study them in their natural habitat. Still, they've been around for tens of millions of years. I'm sure we have all the time in the world to find out all their secrets. Hey there! This was my first attempt at writing a longer video than my usual 1 minute or less shorts. If you've enjoyed it, why not leave a like, and if you have any questions or suggestions for what Pokemon or other fiction animal I could talk about next, leave a comment. I hope to make more of these in the future, and if you want to catch those, be sure to subscribe. That way you can also see when I'm streaming. Hope to see you there!